A member of the Pokemon community has seemingly solved the biggest secret in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Let's take a look. Yo, whoa, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka A-Drive. I'm bringing you guys a brand new video today. Today we're diving into Scarlet and Violet, and man, do I have an incredible video for you guys planned. I'm really excited, so let's just jump into it. I recently stumbled across a channel called Caylas Capsule. I highly recommend after you watch this, you go check out Caylas' channel. I was honestly blown away at how great of a video she had. I love the energy, and I feel like this was such a great theory that I think was right spot on that I wanted to bring it to you guys. We're also going to talk about some other stuff at the end of the video that you don't want to miss as well. So the idea behind this is Cayla, which is someone who is very into this stuff, dove into the most recent trailer, especially that end scene with kind of this crystallized background and this Pokeball seemingly almost like ice-like floating in the air in kind of a curvature. And it seems as though that when you tie that with the information that we have from the box art, it may indeed point to something called a quantum time capsule. Now, a quantum time capsule was first conceived about a decade ago or so, but it is a new kind of matter that bears an uncanny resemblance to perpetual motion machines. Its parts can theoretically move in a repeating cycle without consuming energy for eternity, kind of like a watch that runs forever without batteries. So the theory behind this is that this scene is this quantum time crystal, and that the Pokeball is suspended within it, but not actually suspended. It's in motion, but it's not consuming or utilizing any energy. It's always moving, and it's moving in a curve, but it's not traveling anywhere. What's crazy about this is there are some other signs. You gotta bear with me on this, by the way. And I'm not gonna explain this as eloquently as Cayla did, but I'll do my best. There's a lot of signs already that we've seen that there's relation to quantum time in the first place. The professors, the whiteboard behind them is definitely utilizing some graphs that are related to quantum time, and there's actually a symbol on this board, psi, which is a symbol used in quantum time kind of equations and things of that nature. So it's seen in various formulas. From there, it's also located on the box art, upside down, which is kind of nuts. So again, this symbol no doubt is used in these equations on the whiteboard, and it's used in the box art. And I'll actually talk about this again later, but Cayla is working on deciphering what each of these four symbols on the box art actually mean. We thought they might have something to do with the rides, which I still think is a plausible situation. The ride, the fact that Koraidon and Miraidon, you can ride on them and surf on them and fly on them and so on and so forth. But perhaps there's even more to this relating to quantum time. And you think about, okay, why are we talking about quantum time so much? Like, what is the likelihood that this is a real thing? I think, like, Cayla seems very convinced, and after watching her video, I'm very convinced that this is indeed the inside of a quantum time crystal. It's actually crazy stuff. And then she actually kind of goes into some different theories that I think are worth mentioning. There's a chance that we actually saw these quantum time crystals in Ultra Space in Gen 7. I believe that that could definitely be the case, and you can see some screenshots on screen that kind of indicate that. It's important to recognize that Ultra Space is actually in between universes. So we know that the Pokemon already has different things happening at the same time, right? We have Hisui, which is the past, but you have other games that are more futuristic. We kind of had these different timelines, and we know that Celebi 1 can time travel as well. So this is a theme that's been presented in Pokemon for a while. Dialga, Palkia, time and space. You've got the fact that we traveled to Ultra Space. You've got the Ultra Recon Squad. I mean, these things all exist, right? Necrozma. All this stuff has been almost building for a long time, it seems, now that you really step back and think of it. So the thought is that maybe Miraidon and Koraidon are actually trapped inside these quantum time crystals, and that means that they're gonna get released. And maybe it's the professors who release them, which could make them the leaders of the evil team as well, which is interesting. I think that that could be really, really cool and a great theory there as well. So then there's some questions from that. If that is indeed the case, who put them in the quantum time crystals? Is it Koraidon and Miraidon that are in there, or is it a third legendary that's in a quantum time crystal? Was it the Ultra Recon Squad that did it? Like, was there some sort of a relation there? They just added Ultra Recon Squad to Pokemon Go, which I think is a natural progression either way, but it could have some, you know, kind of relevance in terms of the development of this game as they release more information. There's also this other point that Cayla mentions, which is the circle in the middle of the stadium. That circle we've all thought is going to be like a place where Pokemon trainers battle, but actually Cayla's theorizing that that might be a place where we access this multiverse, this Ultra Space, maybe we don't go into Ultra Space, because that would be very much like we already did in Ultra Sun and Moon, but maybe things come out of that area, that location on the ground. And they mentioned that this actually is very similar and reminiscent to the Ultra of the Sun and Moon, which is where we actually went to Ultra Space in the first place. So again, I'm kind of following all this, man. I thought this was a great video. They also go on to break down the Spiderweb backpack, which I think a lot of people have speculated maybe it has to do with the evil team. Maybe it's, you know, a spider on a web, an upside down carriage, I don't know. But they actually are theorizing that it's not a spiderweb, but rather it's actually related to quantum time crystals. The spot that looks like the eye of kind of the head, what if that's a Pokeball and it's actually flying around in the quantum time crystal, just like we saw in that trailer? And then the triangle part is actually kind of the entry point or the exit point, and that's a thing that could be happening. They even took it another step further, because if you remember the first trailer, there was those mysterious balls sitting on the table, and there's a symbol that's been utilized there that we saw a couple different times on these balls. Caylas actually theorizing that maybe those are used to catch Pokemon inside the quantum time crystal, and you need something that can be stabilized, and the graphs behind the professors are all about stabilization inside of a quantum time crystal to use these Pokeballs rather, to catch things. Listen, I don't know. At the end of the day, as crazy and like in-depth some of this stuff sounds, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. In fact, I think that there's a really good chance that a lot of this does come to fruition. And it brings up other things like, are there going to be more than one quantum time crystal? Is that how we get like space-time distortions to get unique Pokemon that are from different time periods? It's not as if this time traveling theme is not one that already exists, right? We legitimately get dropped into Legends Arceus from the future. We get an Arc phone. Pokemon from the future can appear in space-time distortions. We can travel through Ultra Space in other games. This idea that, you know, we're dealing with past and future and quantum time crystals and things being kind of in a loop of time and all sorts. I mean, listen, I'm all on board, baby. I really am all on board. I think this was a great video. I can't say enough that you guys should go check out Cayla's original video. I just did a fraction of trying to summarize the great points that were made there. The next thing I want to talk about is a theory that honestly it could probably utilize it could have its own video, but I'm gonna kind of summarize it. I saw this on Reddit. I thought this was great, dude. Clean Strategy 9533 posts this, and I just the light bulb went on in my head when I'm reading this here. So the idea behind this is that the Isle of Armor for the Sword and Shield DLC basically teased what these gyms are gonna be, and it makes so much sense. Okay, so the Tower of Water, the Tower of Darkness from the Isle of Armor, where we evolve our Kubfu into Urshifu, saying that the gyms in this new region for Scarlet and Violet are gonna be like those towers. There's gonna maybe be 8 towers scattered throughout the region, and you have to climb the floors of the tower. We already have seen one tower, which is the one in the ground area, or the rocky area. And it does look like, to me, from the overhead shot of the grass fire stadium type of deal with the windmill, that's up in the air as well. And then when you look at the fire flag emblem, it's on the top of a cliffside, so maybe that's in a tall building as well. So hear me out though. You have these different gym challenges. Maybe there's 8 of them, and you climb the floors, you face the different trainers on each floor, and you get to the top, you face the leader, whatever. There's a couple things why this is crucial. Maybe there's minor league gym leaders, there's 18 of them, whatever. But you get to the top of the tower, and then it is a checkpoint. It is a fast travel point for the rest of the game, where this is a massive open area, and it reminds me of the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild towers that you climb to that serve as an incredible way to overlook and look out. Maybe you can look out and see species of Pokemon that are rare that can sometimes appear in those areas. Maybe you can look out and see checkpoints or things that you need to, you know, areas of interest, much like in Breath of the Wild. And again, if they just serve as fast travel points, I think it makes a lot of sense as well. So I really thought this was awesome. I feel like this is probably right, to be honest. It makes a lot of sense to me. I feel like that's a really cool implementation, and maybe, you know, the Tower of Water and Darkness were precursors to this. I think the thing I want to see the most with the gyms at this point is, can I go to any gym at any time? It seems like that's going to be what the case is. That seems to be what they're leading towards. You can free to explore anywhere you want. Can I go to every gym independently, and will each gym scale? So if I want to take on the Fire Gym first, does it have a different team than if I took on the Fire Gym 5th? You know what I'm saying? Like, are they going to be different levels, evolved, etc.? It's not that much work for them to do that, right? Like, I feel like it's not that much work for them to do that. You work backwards, right? Here's your level 8, you know, your 7 gym badge team, if you're facing the 8th gym leader, and then you just devolve it, right? So if their ace is, you know, I don't know, LeChonk's evolution, then they have a LeChonk when you face them when you have no badges. I think that that would be amazing, to be honest, and I think that that would be a huge step forward for the Pokemon franchise. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button down below, and let me know your thoughts on Quantum Time Crystals. Make sure you guys subscribe, and I can't say enough, check out the original video in the description below. I thought it was phenomenal. I think you guys will enjoy it as well. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.